The AAE error, the spinning wheel of death, no sound, Pro Tools won't open. I've seen it all, and either you have too or you will too. This is not a how to do something video. This is a how to think video. Master this most underrated skill and nothing will stop you from finishing that song. Troubleshooting. Let's talk about how to fix anything. I'm Chimera and I've been a Pro Tools engineer for almost 20 years and no error has taken me out. Technology isn't perfect, things break, settings change, system updates make things incompatible, errors always pop up. So instead of me giving you a fish, let me teach you how to fish. You don't need to know every answer, but with what I'm about to share, you should know how to find every answer. Today, I'm breaking down 3 things. 1, the first steps to take in almost every situation. Number 2, how to search for a solution. And number 3, the most common things that go wrong and how to fix them. Here we go. One of my dearest mantras is unplug it and plug it back in, which has many variations like, is it even plugged in? And turn it off and turn it back on. In plain terms, sometimes what will literally fix most problems is restarting Pro Tools, restarting your computer, restarting your interface. Is it even plugged in or is it even on? Sometimes something isn't working because it's not actually plugged in, so retrace through your cables and see if something came loose. And digitally as well, is something not wired right? Is a random background vocal soloed and you're wondering why you can't hear anything? Is the thing muted? Is the plugin bypassed? Is there a plugin secretly stopping sound from coming through because it requires an update? Because that has happened to me. Very annoying. Go through all your plugin inserts, see if something is blocking the sound. Is the volume knob all the way turned down on your headphones? Okay, so first things you should always do before digging deeper are often turning it off, turning it back on, unplugging, plugging things back in, or making sure everything is definitely plugged in. Also, definitely check your audio device. That playback engine set to the wrong device is very, very common. Okay, that's out of the way. We're gonna talk about specific issues in a sec, like no sound, latency, installation problems importing instrumentals. But real quick, this is the real tea. How to find answers to anything. And this has evolved like crazy over the last few years. AI is now integrated with Google, and that has changed everything. You can find answers in seconds if you know how to ask the questions. I like to start with Google, not ChatGPT or Claude, because often the answer is a simple one and Google AI will just give it to you quickly. Also, if Google seems to be on the right track with the answer, you can click that little button underneath that says dive deeper with AI to give it further context and ask additional questions. However, reading text is not as easy as following videos, so if the solution doesn't make sense to you instantly in the Google message, look to see if the video results describe your problem and watch someone guide your click-by-click steps to fixing the problem. So I said, you'll find answers if you know how to ask questions. So what do we even type into Google? Here's a good framework. How to fix, describe problem, describe what was happening when the problem occurred, or if you know what caused the problem to occur, that context helps, and end your prompt with in Pro Tools. That's your quick Google. But if you want to get way more detailed for more serious problems, that's when I would move to a chat-based AI like Claude.ai or ChatGPT. In one of these chats, your query can be much more detailed to include what you've already tried, what gear you're using if it's relevant, and if anything you've tried gave a new result but still didn't fix the problem. Additional context will help lead us to the answer faster. But here's the magic question that people forget to ask. Ask it to ask you questions to help it come to a solution. You might not even know what information would be helpful to solving this particular problem, but Claude will. So add into your prompt to ask you any questions to help us find the answer faster. I usually start my questions to Chat or Claude by saying, I need click-by-click, easy to follow, detailed instructions on how to fix XYZ in Pro Tools. I've already tried XYZ, but it is still not working. My operating system is Mac OS whatever. I'm using the Apogee Symphony interface. Please ask me any relevant questions to help us get to the answer. If it gives you steps and you get stuck on a certain step, you can then prompt it again. I'm having trouble on step number 4. Can you elaborate and go into more detail? We used to have to sift and search through forums, but now AI just does that for us. So if you want to be back up and running the fastest, this is the way now. Let's get into some specific issues people run into when starting with Pro Tools and how to fix them. I'll break these down by category. Number 1 is Installation issues. So going back to the very beginning, trying to install Pro Tools, it won't install or it won't open after installing. First thing to do is make sure you've installed Avid Link. It's another app that helps you download their software. Some systems, especially Windows, won't open Pro Tools unless Avid Link is installed. You don't necessarily need to use Avid Link, it just needs to be on your computer. So when you're in avid.com, you've made an account and you're signed in, you'll find Avid Link under My Products, download it, then download the Pro Tools installer, install them, then try opening Pro Tools again. If you're trying to use the free version of Pro Tools and it's asking you to plug in your iLock, this might be happening because you've previously had a subscription and it's interfering, basically asking you to re-sign up. You should not need an iLock to use Pro Tools. Uninstall everything. I would make a fresh new Avid account and start over to make it stop asking you for your old iLock. Also, make sure you've downloaded the right installer. It should probably pick it for you automatically, but if you're on Windows, make sure you get the Windows installer, which ends in .exe. On Mac, the file ends in .dmg. So if you downloaded the wrong one, go back to avid.com, download the correct version. Make sure you also have a supported operating system. I believe Pro Tools requires Mac OS 10.17 or higher. I think that's Big Sur and up. Windows requires Windows 10 or higher. If your operating system is super old, Pro Tools might not work with it. It could still work, but if something goes wrong, Avid basically says it's not our fault. So you might need to upgrade your operating system. Check if your computer can even handle Pro Tools. You need to be running Pro Tools on a legit computer. If you're using something like a Chromebook, you might be able to install Pro Tools, but it's gonna struggle. Cheap laptops are designed for simple tasks like typing and emailing. They don't have a lot of processing power or RAM, which Pro Tools needs, or it will run slowly or crash often. If you're serious about recording, you might need to upgrade your computer or look into adding more RAM if that's possible. More installation issues. Check if you have antivirus or some special privacy software. It might be blocking the installation. You can temporarily disable it, install Pro Tools, and then turn it back on. And lastly, if things are just still not working, this is super annoying, but it can work. Delete Pro Tools and Avid Link from your computer, reinstall them. This might be another one of those unplug it and plug it back in type things. So sometimes reinstalling just fixes it. If you're having trouble with installation, honestly, this might be the hardest part to recording. So stick through it. Next major issue people run into is not having any sound coming through, no mic signal. So if you can't hear anything, you don't see any signal when you hit record arm, or maybe even the track won't let you record arm, here's what I would do in order. Number one, check your playback engine and make sure it's set correctly. We'll go to Setup, Playback Engine, and right here under your device settings, Playback Engine, make sure it's set to your interface. If you are using a USB mic, you'd set it to that, whatever your correct audio device is. More often than you'd think, Pro Tools does select the wrong audio device for you. Anytime you've had a Zoom call or you use some kind of audio app that may have dictated your audio settings and Pro Tools picks up the last setting. So you'll need to manually reset it, and this happens kind of often. Number two, looking at your record track, make sure your I/O settings are correct so you get the sound from your microphone. This is your input. I have mine set to input 1. That's where my mic is plugged into in my interface. I had it on something else, so that's normal why I wouldn't be seeing any signal. Sometimes you might click on this and it's like grayed out like this. If this part is grayed out, just click on it and re-engage it, and sometimes it comes back on. If it doesn't let you do that, it's probably your playback engine again. Okay, another issue is you might be using a condenser mic and you don't have your phantom power engaged. This button here on my interface says 48 volts. I need to make sure that is on in order for my condenser mic to let any sound pass. Another fix. This might seem obvious, but a lot of people do forget. You can't hear anything from your mic unless you actually record arm the track. So making sure that you've enabled the track to record. Another issue people run into, especially with USB mics and some interfaces, is you might still need to download drivers for that interface. This is rare nowadays. New interfaces pretty much come plug and play. But if you're using a new interface or new USB mic and you suspect this might be a thing, Google your interface or your mic and type in the word drivers, and you might find downloads and you just install those drivers. Restart Pro Tools and hopefully that'll work. Okay, also, if you're getting error messages about your I/O settings, your input input-output settings, you may want to go to Setup I/O and click this default button. That will just set everything back to the system defaults, and hopefully that will clear up any errors. Hit OK. All right, I want to talk about latency next. If you feel like when you're recording, your voice sounds delayed in your headphones, like it's coming in like a millisecond too late, that's really annoying when you're trying to record. Here are some things you can do to fix that. Going back to Setup and Playback engine, look at your hardware buffer size. Mine's kind of high. If I drop this down to like 256 or 128, that will reduce the latency, but it will also reduce my CPU performance. So if you do this and it starts to kind of make glitching sounds or behave pretty slow, you might start crashing more often. Move on to the next step, which is turning off a bunch of your plugins. The entire reason why you're probably hearing latency is because of your plugins. If you have a lot of auto-tune plugins on or reverbs, these use up a lot of CPU. You can turn these off while you're recording, and that will definitely help with the latency, and just turn them back on when you're finished recording. I personally like to hear all my effects when I'm recording. Every time I finish a take and play it back, I want to hear it with those effects on. So I have a different solution to this entirely, and it's not really a solution, it's more of an accommodation. I always record with one headphone off, and I focus my hearing on what is coming out of my actual mouth into my ear, not what's going through the system and coming in through my headphones late. So I take one headphone off, listen to my real voice, and I turn this record track down quite a bit, so I'm actually not really hearing myself through the headphones anyway. I think it's really funny how you always hear people saying like, turn me up in the headphones. Like, I can't hear myself. I purposely don't want to hear myself, and it's so I don't get annoyed with latency. And then when I play it back, I can keep my plugins on. Okay, next common problem. Pro Tools is slow, it's glitching, or it's crashing a lot. Fixing this is called CPU optimization, and there's a lot of things you can do to remedy this. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier with the Chromebook, if you don't have a really powerful computer, this might be more challenging for you, but here are some things you can try. Number one, close all the other programs running so your computer is only running Pro Tools. Number two, clear up some space on your computer. You know, you probably have a bunch of video files that are really large that you don't really need anymore. Delete those, empty your trash, try to free up some space. That will definitely help your computer not be so laggy. Number three, I hope you are recording onto an external hard drive. If you're just recording your sessions and all your files are being written to your computer, that is going to fill your computer up really fast, and it's going to slow your computer way down. So whenever I start a new session, it always asks me, where do I want to save this new session? I save it onto an external hard drive, and I recommend using a solid state drive. I like the Samsung, I think it's called like T5, T8, one of those. Those are awesome. Okay, here's another scenario. Let's say you have like auto-tune on like every single track, and it's really slowing your computer down. Something you can do, you can click on the track, highlight the name, right click on it, and use the commit function. So what the commit function is going to do, when you click on that, I like to select the whole selected track, and then what do we want to do with the source tracks? I always have hide and make inactive selected. And the other options are to just make the original track inactive, delete the original track, or do nothing and it's just going to duplicate the track and both tracks will be there. I like hide and make inactive. So that will free up our CPU. Okay, here's a good example. I want to commit these two plugins. So I'm going to go right click, commit my selected track, hide and make inactive. When I hit OK, processes it. Basically, it's going to print these plugins onto the track permanently. So now this has those plugins, and I've hidden, which is hiding over here, the original track. If I unhide it, it's inactive, but this was the original audio. Looks like I had some reverb or something crazy effect on it. If you want to go ahead and commit all of your audio tracks, that will save a lot of CPU. And if you ever need to go back and grab the original audio, you can just unhide the original track right there. So let's hide that. that again. With CPU optimization, we kind of do the opposite of what we do when we want to stop the latency in your headphones and actually increase the buffer size. So if we go back to the playback engine and turn this up to maybe like 512, now my computer is going to be able to handle more plugins with ease. So I increase my hardware buffer size for the mixing phase, decrease it for the recording phase, if you're listening through your headphones. Okay, another issue I want to talk about that a lot of beginners can run into, we often will just drag the audio of like the instrumental into the session and drop it on a track. Most of the time that is fine, but if you bring in a track that has a different sample rate from your session, like a 44.1 track coming into a 48K session, sometimes Pro Tools accidentally doesn't convert it. So the proper way to import something, if you're hearing like the audio is slowing down, it's warping, for some reason it sounds like it's higher pitched or lower pitched, or the timing just feels off on your instrumental, import it by going to File, Import Audio, find and click on the track that you want to import, convert it, and then make sure Apply SRC is engaged. And you can see, actually, this is a good example. The source sample rate is 44.1, and it's going to convert it to 48. So when I click open, it's going to ask where I want to save it. Audio files folder is great. Processing it. I want it on a new track at the session start. Perfect. So it put it right here, and you can just put it up here. And now it should be in time, everything normal. Oh, another common issue is if you are using pirated audio, something that you got off of like YouTube and you ripped it with some third-party sketchy app, sometimes those don't work. That sounds like a you problem. All right, this is a funny one. Sometimes people complain that this can happen. You open Pro Tools and you don't see any screens. That's because you've clicked the X button before you quit your last session. You don't need to do that. You just quit and it'll close. So if your windows are missing, literally go to Window, open that mix window again. Here we are. And then open that edit window again, and you can command equals to go back and forth, and you've restored your windows. Okay, so those are a lot of the top problems I see. I have a playlist of how to fix a lot of specific problems on my YouTube channel. The skill isn't knowing every answer. The skill is knowing how to find every answer. And we learn more when things go wrong. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Pro Tools and vocal production tutorials. See you soon.